Are you serious, Bill?
They're coming in now.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Come on in, have a seat, have a seat.
my heart left my chest. Like,
Come
oh,
on in, everyone.
hello.
Maintain your social distance, please. Thank you.
I wonder who we got. It. Who goes? Oh, we can see them. There they go.
Oh, we
Okay.
can. Oh,
If you can see the names, you can't see the people.
We're going to get started here in 2 minutes.
I know some of these people.
we should have had some intro music.
Well, I better know some of them are probably certified. Some
Dun,
of them.
dun, dun, dun. Welcome to US Masters Alts peer-to-peer conversations.
No, no.
An evening in luxury.
All right, 1 more minute. We'll get the show on the road here.
In the world of aquatics.
Where only the strong survive.
And where we save lives.
Yes.
I miss y'all so much, man. I can't wait to travel. Lord have mercy.
My dog is not being happy over there. She's like,
Hey, welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for the shout out. Luis, hi right back at you in DC. Glad to have you. Oh, we got somebody from Vermont. Emily, you did tell me you were going to join tonight. Thank you for showing up.
That sounds cool.
Promise to be entertaining. Absolutely. All right. Let's go. My name is Bill Brenner. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for US Masters Swimming. Welcome to tonight's ALTS peer-to-peer presentation. We've got some great panelists that are going to impart some wisdom upon all of us, including me. I always learn from my peers, and I hope you do too. This is a great group of people. I know many of them from working with them over the years on a pool deck or in a classroom. So first, I'd like to introduce our moderator for this evening. It's William Kolb from Kentucky. William is a member of the Adult Learn to Swim Programming Committee, and he co-founded the Central Adult Learn to Swim Corporation in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a nonprofit that teaches adults to learn to swim for free. William's a USMS Level 3 certified coach, as well as a certified ALTS instructor, and he coaches at the Lakeside Masters swim program, and he also coaches at a high school and an age group program, all there in Louisville, Kentucky. So William, take it away.
Thank you. It's awesome to see 45 attendees here. Bill told us that there were 88 signed up, so that's great. I also got a shout out to some of my people, Mimi, Michael Rademacher, Carrie, some of my folks are here. Hello, good evening. We have an awesome call for you guys tonight with some wonderful program leaders out in our country, all East Coast folks tonight, which is kind of cool. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started by introducing our first presenter this evening. It's Mr. Morgan Lattimore. Morgan is a lead USMS Adult Learn to Swim instructor. He certifies the instructors. He lives in Jacksonville, North Carolina, where he is stationed as an active duty Marine Corps Master Sergeant. He has held positions in the past, such as event director, director of volunteers for Ironman, personal trainer, and is owner of Latitude Pure Coaching. Over the years, Morgan has learned a depth of knowledge on how to market a business and build a brand that represents his purpose. Morgan has just published a book. I have a copy. It's fantastic. You should buy it. Becoming an Amazing Coach. The first step is to believe it's possible. The book is geared towards helping athletes find and maintain relationships with quality coaches. Morgan is also, and this was written in March, pre-COVID, so I don't know if this is still happening. He'll tell us. Currently training for 10 Ironman races in 10 days. It's a big flex. Morgan's going to let you know about reaching special populations and building your brand. And Morgan, you can take it away.
Thank you, William. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody, I love doing that. I'm glad to that everybody's here and we got the chance to meet up. This is the best thing that we have, to see each other's beautiful faces until we get back in the classroom, and we will, right? We just got to get it right, the vaccine and everything else that's going on in our lives, right? And I am still, actually, we were talking about that today with the event director. I am still doing the race. It's called Epic Deca in Hawaii. It's 10 Ironmans in 10 consecutive days. I am still training for it. I've been training for 2 years. And they keep pushing it back, and I just want them to do it, right? It's good. It's a lot of swimming, right, in the ocean. The 2.4-mile swim 10 times. So, and I'll ride a bike 112 miles 10 times, and I'll run a marathon 10 times. And so, it sounds like it'll be interesting, and I'm glad I know how to swim, right? Because that would be a very bad thing if I didn't know how to swim doing that. And then, one of the things, one of the reasons I'm doing it, right, essentially, I may be the first African-American to even tip 10 Ironman in 10 days, right? And so the biggest part of me, especially with USMS, is like, I didn't grow up swimming, right? Nobody taught me how to swim. I was self-taught, then I got to start, learning from Bill and Dominique and everybody that I come in contact with, and I just got better and better, and my confidence rose, right? And so we want to give that same experience, that same set of confidence that they can use not only in the water, on the pool deck, but it transcends that as well. So I'm going to teach you guys how to, like, not only market your brand and build your clientele, but I'm going to show you, like, how important it is that you kind of live your purpose, right? And what that purpose is, we'll kind of dive into it right now. What's your why? What's your purpose? I talk to a lot of people, and I mentor coaches, right? I mentor coaches and I coach athletes on their purpose, because that is the one thing that drives us and connects us together, our people or your person. When you are in, I always tell people, especially coaches or personal trainers, pick the top 3 things that are most valuable in your life when it comes to relationships. If it's honesty, communication, loyalty, take those things, and those are the type of people that you're going to resonate with, right? So if you wonder why you're not getting athletes, is because you may be acting like somebody else you saw, and you're not being yourself. So you're not going to attract your people, right? And that's a big piece of marketing, is being very niched down. And we try to get broad and say, what do you want? Well, I want people to come learn how to swim. Well, what does that mean? And for them to understand what you have to offer, you can say, oh, I'm offering swimming, but your personality gives off a certain energy. Like, the type of people you deal with gives off a certain energy. And I don't know if you ever heard, like, birds of a feather flock together, people are equally yoked, however you want to use that terminology. If you have no connection on the emotional level, I don't care who they are, we're in a service providing type thing. So you have to interact with people. Okay. And so, why you're doing what you're doing is very important, where you'll hear things as your mission, your intent, right? Your vision. These things are very important to be as succinct as possible, so right, why you're doing what you're doing. Because as we get deeper into the marketing side of it, it's very important to do that. Most coaches get out there, especially the ones that are just certified or have small programs, they get out there and say, I got my certification, why ain't nobody signing up? Well, one, nobody probably know who you are. Two, you just want people to come spend their money and give you lessons. Yes, it's coming from a good place, but you've learned the skill of coaching and instructing. But now, and especially in a business sense, you have to learn how to be a marketer, right? And that's where some coaches miss it. Sometimes we have our ready-made community, like a Y or something like that, where people are being fed into it already. And, those are the lucky ones. But not all of us have. Some people want to start organizations. They want to start volunteer swim programs. And you have to get people to come. You got to get at least the first 1 or 2, right? If you can get 1, you can get 10. That's what I believe, right? But your purpose has to be very clear. Why do you do it? Why do you do it, right? And for me, I like to let people know my purpose of why I teach people how to swim, and anything else I do. I want them to know that I'm there with them. They're never alone. And every step of the way, I'm going to guide them, because they already possess the power within to make it happen. And everything I do is going to resonate that, right? And it took me man, a few years to actually, like 1 or 2 years to figure it out. And I'm still actually really niching it down. I'm really getting down to understand, because as you do this longer, right, you're really going to understand who you connect better with, right? Some people connect better with older people, men, women, right? Pregnant women, different demographics. That is very important. It'll take time. So really understanding your why, your purpose up front is key. And that takes a lot of soul searching, because most of people that are in these programs, and I say people, I mean coaches and personal trainers, they are thinking about the financial side first, which you need to do the total opposite of that. Like you need to think about, okay, emotionally, why am I doing this? Like, why am I taking the time out of my life, my schedule, my retirement to want to teach people how to swim? It could be, I've met some where, I had a life or death experience and I want no one else to ever go through that. Well, my mother drowned in a pool and we lost her that way. I want my kids to be safe, and I want to make sure that parents are able to enjoy the water with their children, right? These are things that are very important. Those are the key things that keep you going when ain't nobody signing up. Okay. It's your purpose of being on this earth, your purpose of being a coach. It has nothing to do about you getting money, making money, anything like that. That's the whole point of the reason why we're here. How are we changing lives? How are we saving lives? Right. And that's where you need to go down to the like the smallest molecule to really find out what that is for you. Okay. So as we get into that, you find out what your purpose is, right? You know what your why is. And then in the why process, there's the 3 steps. There's the why, there's the how, and the what, right? Why am I doing this? I want to make sure that people are safe in the water, because, when I was a kid, I wasn't safe. How am I going to do it? I'm going to give lessons. What I'm going to achieve, I'm going to help people swim, right? It's breaking it down into those 3 categories that'll really help you understand the process that what you're in. A lot of people start off in the what, or I want to teach people to swim, right? But they pass the how, and then they pass like everything. That's why the how is the structured program that we've already certified you in. Like, this is how you're going to do it. What you're going to do is when that person comes swimmer, but you got to know why you're doing it. And in marketing and in branding, that why is going to resonate through everything you do, even your services and your products, which is the next topic. Okay. Services and products. Your why is very important. Like I said, like one lady was like, hey, my mother drowned. Okay. So what kind of program are you going to have? Are you going to teach, adults, right? Like older adults? Are you going to teach young adults? Like, what demographic are you going to be? There are a lot of people from 18 to 70 to 100 that want to learn how to swim, but they all are different people, and you're going to have all different demographics in there. So the products and services that you provide for them is going to be different. What Nadine, her demographics and what products or sessions she provides is different. What William provides in his is going to look different. They're going to have similarities, but they're in 2 totally different locations, right? And that is a very key understanding. Like, you have to find out what works with you, right? And you can try different things. Don't be afraid to fail at this. This is very important. Like, even though I tell you this process or these stories, I had to figure it out and fail at it over and over again. And it was people were mentoring me, Bill and other people, where I had to read books, learn, go to seminars, watch videos, and really nail it down. It was like, because everybody comes out there, I just want to teach people to swim. Well, maybe in your area, that's not where, maybe there's 9 people teaching people to swim. So where are you going to be? What service are you going to provide that sets you apart? I was told the other day, the services you provide need to be so niche that you don't have any competition, right? You want to make sure in your area, if you want to be successful, that what you are providing for people, there's no other competition. And if there is competition to the left and to the right of you, you need to niche down even more, right? So if you're just dealing with women, right, that's very broad. Then maybe you deal with pregnant women. Maybe you deal with older women. Maybe you deal with younger, 18 to 21. You find those, and that's where you stick with. that doesn't stop you. And I'll kind of give you some cheats. That doesn't stop you from having the rest of the clients coming in of the other age groups. But what it does is it makes you so laser focused on that group of people that you learn their needs, their wants, their demographics, their sociographics, right? And then once you get that, they become super fans of you. And they tell everybody else how you taught them how to swim because they had a great experience, right? So the services that you're going to provide for them is going to be very, very important. And how that it could be one-on-one, it could be, you know, that 3-to-1 ratio. It could be only fearful swimmers, only people that have dealt with drowning. It could be the one that we were starting to teach probably before we went into COVID, right? Special needs, right? You know, it could be whatever it is. It could just be with kids with autism. It could be kids just in wheelchairs. Whatever that niche is for you, you need to do that. And that's going to resonate so much when you get really, really laser focused on it with everybody else. And those services, right? When you do it, when you're the only one doing it, it's easier to price it too, right? You don't have any competition. So you can charge a little bit more than, you know, everybody else. Where if there's 10 people giving swim lessons, where are you going to be the high, low, or mid? But if you're the only one teaching kids with autism and there's a need for that in your area, well, there you go. Okay. Then now there's a demand in your area for you and no one else, because now you're the expert, you're the authority in that area. So picking your products and your services is very key to longevity, right? Because you need to niche down. Remember, niche down. If there's anyone else, if you're going to write something down, if there's anyone else to the left and the right of you doing the same thing, you haven't niched down enough. Niche is finding that one thing that sets you apart from everybody else in the industry that you're in. Okay. So as we get down to that, we talk about the services and niche it down, right? So we already know our why. That's how we knew what we were going to do and who we were going to teach, right? And then we know what services that we're going to provide, because we've looked at where we're at, our demographics, and we've seen that. So now we have to really, really focus on our target audience, right? So how do you reach them? And that is huge. So for me, and I'll break it down into me as a triathlon coach. My demographics that of people that I deal with is 99.9% women, right? From the ages of 45 to 55. Okay. They usually have a college education, or they're in some type of profession or certified profession that they work in. Okay. They are from single family homes. Some of them are single mothers, probably been married or divorced, or they're still a part of it really depends. They have 1 to 2 children. And some reason the people that I deal with like red. Okay. They like red a lot. That's something I learned here this year. Red is a big one because I've done like surveys. I ask a lot of questions when I deal with my athletes. And if I look back, and what I just told you, if I look back probably the last 8-9 years as I've been doing the triathlon coaching, 90% of my clientele meet that demographic, right? And it's a reason why I resonate with women, because I'm more holistic in nature. Because women deal with their emotions, they talk about them, the mental side of it, they're more open, they're willing to feel, right? And I guess as a Marine, I'm a little bit touchy-feely, as in the emotional sense, not the physical sense. Okay, we're talking about swimming. You got to ask permission to touch. All right, just want to make sure we're clear on that. Everybody know me, I'm a little crazy, so just go with it. Just go with it. That, no pun intended in that either. When we go back down to the target audience, everything you do needs to be generated around them. Remember, we already talked about our why. We already talked about what products we're going to have, because we know now we need to know who we're going to give them to. So we said, well, this is the services I'm going to provide because I know this is the need in the area. Now, my audience is the mom with the kids with the autism, period. That's my target audience. Okay. And I'm just going to use that as an example because it's super niche down. And so when you look at them, what does she deal with? How can you market yourself to that audience, right? so you do research, you ask questions, you put out surveys, right? Even when you do when you do your interviews, maybe create a survey for them to fill out, or you can do some question and answer on your first, icebreaker or discovery call or your initial phone call, and kind of get some information and do some information gathering on those people. Keep that, put it all in a spreadsheet, or what they do in the, and you get a little bit more professional, you can put it in an Excel spreadsheet or a CRM, where it can keep all that information for you. Right. And so what a CRM does is this is the reason why companies know like what color you like, and if you're pregnant and all that. The grocery stores know what you want. They gather information on you. So they take that information, and then that helps them target you. That's why we call it a target audience. Right. So if you have your credit card, right, you say Nadine has her credit card and she goes to get pillows every 2-3 months because of the naps that she takes, and she wears out her pillows, right? And she takes all these naps. Well, Walmart is going to learn, right, that Nadine likes pillows. So with that information, it goes into their CRM or their database, and they're going to start sending her coupons for sleep aids, right? Maybe pajamas, right? Things that they know that she's been on a regular, in that same realm. So that's what you do. When you have a target audience, you do the most research and the information gathering that you can, so you can actually know who you're dealing with. And that's the key with anything we do. Like I always say, you can't get to a destination if you don't have a plan or directions. Okay. So that's what the target audience is. You have to do research, and that takes a long time, right? Because you just can't, if you got 1 or 2 athletes, you're just going to get a little bit of information. But the more athletes you deal with, and if you're, for those of you that are just teaching and letting people go, and you don't really know who you're dealing with or why you're dealing with them, to be able to reach back out to them, you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? You need to gather that information, even if it's just a 1-pager, right? Just some key things like, why did you pick us? What made you come to this swim instruction? Or what services would you like in the future? You've all done that, even in races or anything like that. So they're gathering information, so they know how to target you better next time, so they can keep bringing you back for more, and they keep learning about you. So now I've given 10, 15 lessons to families with autism kids, right? And now I have all this information. So now I take all that information and I just use it to continue to target that audience. Boom, 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 boom. And the more I do it, the more information I'm going to learn. And it's going to change over time, right? But the root of all that information is going to remain the same. How you connect with them, the things that they deal with, like what schools did they go to in your area? What kind of activities did they really like? And you're going to learn things. As I started to learn things when I was with Bill, and we were working with, swimmers that didn't have legs or didn't have arms. And I started to really understand. And we went to multiple classes. I was like, oh, okay, that's why, do this, do that. Right. And you get to understand. Now I know when I talk to somebody like that again, this is what I've learned from them, and I use that to my benefit. And they're like, man, you know what you're talking about. Yes, because I pay attention, I've gathered the information, and I can, sell. That's what it comes down to, because you may think you're in coaching business, but you got to sell yourself a little bit in a very respectful manner, right? And that's just knowing what you're talking about and being the authority in your area. All right. So what that talks about, now we going into branding, and it's different than kind of anything else we're talking about. And I'll kind of go branding real skim over, because a lot to it when it comes to branding. Okay, I got you. So you got letters, we got the logos, we got colors, we got the voice, the words that you use. The key is with marketing, you want to say the same thing over and over and over again, right? And you just want to say it in different ways, make it creative in different ways. And then so people can keep hearing it. So it keeps to resonate with them. It's almost like getting that song in your head and you can't forget it. Well, then they learn like, okay, William does this. Oh, every time I hear about swimming and teaching, I hear about William, right? Or I hear about Don, right? And so that's the key, because that message just continues being played through everything else that you're giving them. All right. And that's the meat and potatoes of everything you do. It's a lot more to it when it comes down to cost, different levels of marketing throughout social media and things of that nature. And I don't mind if people reach out to me and we talk about it. This is what I do. I help mentor and, teach coaches, athletes, personal trainers, how to do these things and build their companies. So I'll stop there. This is a very broad subject. I'm not gonna lie. We can go on this for like they teach, like they give degrees on this stuff. So like it's a whole lot of information to it. I guess we're going to questions.
Yeah, Morgan, thank you so much. That's awesome. And you have shared a wealth of knowledge, and I know that there's more. I shamelessly put your book link in the chat if anyone's interested. It's good
Plug.
stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It is good stuff. I'll start off with the first question, and I'll encourage folks to either raise their hand, and I think Bill Brenner can allow you to speak, or you can start typing in the Q&A function there. You can also type in the chat, but I'm really curious, can you give us maybe a 30-second rundown of what do you say when you call a client? Learn to swim student, what's the conversation like? What are the first couple of things that you say? What do you need to know?
The first things that the first thing that I say when I meet anybody for the first time or they're looking for coaching, I don't talk about coaching at all. I want to get to know the athlete themselves. That is my key thing. I don't care about I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't care about your goals or anything. What I've learned is so many coaches overlook the athlete to find out what the goals are or how much they're gonna willing to spend or what their event is or what their skill level is, and they don't get to know them. You can't coach an athlete if you don't know them, period. I'm gonna keep it super. I'm gonna keep it boom.
That's awesome. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions coming in from the crowd? We got 49 people out there.
Nobody has questions.
Question. Okay, here we go.
They know it all.
Is there any training session offered for instructors to teach adapted students for adaptive learning? Morgan, you can tell them what is in progress.
I am not versed on that enough to tell that story. That's Bill.
Bill Brenner, you want to take that one away?
Yeah, we partnered with Disabled Sports USA in 2018 and 2019 and received a grant from the Veterans Affairs to develop a adaptive Learn to Swim program. Dominic Littella and I taught the class 3 times in 2018 and 4 times in 2019 with great success. The best part of the class is that we actually recruited people with adaptive swimmers with adaptive needs to come and be in the pool when we did the pool portion of the Adult Learn to Swim. So just like Morgan was saying earlier, it's learning from doing. And sometimes you have to have the people there that have that situation. Maybe they're missing limbs. Maybe they're just developmental, have issues. But we learn and we put together a nice plan. And then 2020 came along when we were going to continue on with it and it got derailed. And here's 2021. We hope to reinvigorate it. Matter of fact, I did speak to the people at Disabled Sports USA, and we are going to apply for a grant for 2022. So let's hope that we can offer that more than we did in the past. And all of the people that are interested in working with veterans, working with people that have adaptive needs, we can meet their needs and help them learn to swim and learn to swim better and be safer in and around the water.
That's awesome. Thank you. I learned something new, so I'm glad someone asked that. Jennifer would like to know, she said, I'm curious, you said you were in the military, but then said you were sensitive to emotion. This surprises her. She sees the opposite from someone with a military background. How did the military prepare you to be so sensitive to emotion?
That's a really deep question. I'll try to answer this as quick as possibly. I've seen a lot, right? And you get to a certain level when you've seen what I've seen, that you appreciate life a whole lot more. So that means you appreciate the relationships that you have with everybody that you come in contact with. To be a good leader, you have to show emotion. If you look at the best leaders in this world, they had emotion. They had a passion behind what they did. And a true leader is influential. And influence comes from emotion and love of what you do and the passion that you have for it. So the best coaches out there are going to do it with this, not only with this. Boom.
That's awesome. That's awesome. An anonymous attendee says, what if I don't know how to find people who need to learn how to swim? What should I do to find them?
Well, it's called prospecting. The closed mouth don't get fed. So you ask people, do you know how to swim? Would you like to learn? And you ask 1,000 people, and you keep asking until you have enough people to fill your classroom. Sometimes we think that they're supposed to come to us once we get the certification. We got to go out there and find them because they don't know you exist sometimes. And there are people out there, I guarantee you, that are looking for you right now. They just don't know where you are.
That's awesome. Thank you. Michael Ham from Idaho says, have you been at your business and how many clients do you have currently? What's been going on for you in 2020 and early 2021?
I've been extremely busy. I only usually, personally, I carry about 25 triathletes or runners or, cyclists or swimmers. I have been, I'm 2020 was my busiest year. Actually, I was deeper in the black than I've ever been. I kind of doubled down on social media and, really getting succinct with it, who I was talking to and how I was talking to them. And it was going well. Business is going good. I got 2 coaches that work for me now, and they have 2 or 3 athletes on their own. And I'm looking to bring on more athletes and actually create a curriculum within my coaching to actually train more coaches under, my philosophy. So.
Okay, good. I see a question from Penny Noyes. Hi, Penny, in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'm going to hold that one for the mermaids. They will be able to answer that question wonderfully. Kim Elsbach on the West Coast says, do you ever completely change the focus of a class once you get started and find out that people have different skill levels than anticipated?
For me, I don't do classes. I do one-on-one sessions. I like the personal feel. I like and I think you can connect better when you have just one person to worry about. It's like a classroom ratio thing. I know we do 3 to 1 in alts, but I like, regardless if you're a fearful swimmer or a swimmer, I like that one-on-one if I'm going to give you really detailed instruction where I'm in the pool with you. And I think that is more valuable. And yeah, that's really it. That's all I have. I don't deal with classes like that. When you have that many, you do have to deal with a whole lot of people. And it kind of like deteriorates the level of service or the experience that they can have. And you just want to make that as valuable as possible.
Okay. Is ALTS targeting unique groups of swimmers or teaching able-bodied swimmers? That's a good general question. Can you answer that one, Morgan?
Say that again.
So is Adult Learn to Swim targeting unique groups of swimmers or teaching able-bodied swimmers?
All the above?
It's both. Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure that was a trick question. All the above? we teach everybody. We teach adults, right? 18 and older. And that's what matters. And so who the demographics or what audience we're talking to is really up to who you are and where you're at. That's your audience is whatever you have in your general area that you can actually give the service of swim lessons to. Who that is, it could be both, right? But the key is what we talked about here, just really niching down and finding the group that really resonates with what you want to do and what you believe in.
Great. All right, okay. William, we should probably.
Yeah, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
And Lisa, we'll get to the in-person swim questions next with the Mahogany Mermaids because they are in action at the moment, which is fantastic. So I would like to thank Morgan for his time and answering all of those wonderful questions. Up next, we have a presentation from 3 fabulous people at the Mahogany Mermaids swim team in Charlotte, North Carolina. These ladies were famous recently. They were on NBC.
Were famous? Were famous?
Famous.
Are famous?
They've been famous.
Are famous because they were on NBC.
Listen, they are famous. I've been jealous of the mermaids since I found out that they existed. I'll just say that much. Their bio here is hearing the words masters swimmer can be frightening for some people, especially if they are new or weak swimmers. The Mahogany Mermaids Masters Swim Club understands that fear. They have been there. While a few of their members and coaches are lifelong swimmers, the majority are Adult Learn to Swim graduates. The Mermaids offer a tiered learning approach to swimming. with programming for every level of master swimmer from alts level 1 to endurance competitors. It's no wonder everyone wants to be a mermaid. These folks are running a fantastic club. Again, like I said, with multiple levels. To discuss this tonight, we have Nadine Ford. She's going to talk about the origin of the program and some of the admin side of running this club. Dawn Patton is going to be discussing the Adult Learn to Swim program, and Celeste Thompson is going to be talking about coaching the Masters and Pre-Masters program for the Mermaids. So I'm going to let Nadine take it away. Nadine, you ready to share that screen?
Yes. Okay. Okay, and good evening, everyone. I am Nadine Ford. I am the founder and one of the head coaches for the Mahogany Mermaids. And we function basically by removing fear and replacing it with empowerment, or we remove fear through empowerment. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Maybe. Help me out, William. It won't change.
Sorry, use your keys, arrows left and right. Try that.
Dude, I don't know left from right. Left, no, no. Okay. Oh, I did something. Or did you do it? Did you do that?
I did not.
58 years old. That's my bedtime. So let's talk about Mahogany Mermaids and who we are and how we got started. We are a group of Black swimmers, and we are reclaiming our aquatic heritage by taking a definitive stance by choosing how we include ourselves within the U.S. Masters Swimming Inclusion and Diversity. What this means is we decide how we bring ourselves to the table. We decide what we want to do and how we want to do it. A lot of times when we talk about inclusion and diversity, it's based upon someone else's standards. And we can't do that. We're saying this is us. We have to live through it. And we're bringing that out. We also do, okay, I know how to work this now. And we also look at knowledge, because we know empowerment comes from knowledge. A lot of people, oh, Black people don't swim. Black people don't do that. Black people don't do this. And it's not true. We do whatever we want to do. We don't do it to other standards. We do it to our standards. And once we start teaching ourselves and others this, then we start seeing a way to make things happen. A lot of people focus on the post Jim Crow era of swimming, when the pools were segregated and Black people didn't have access. But they don't know that before Jim Crow, you know, we as indigenous people, we as people of Africa, we swam. We invented the freestyle. We brought the freestyle over here when we were captured. We would dive into the waters to reclaim or to gather treasures that were lost. The colonizers were doing the breaststroke, and most of the men were the ones swimming. The women didn't swim. When you talk about mermaids, they're actually, it was based upon an African tribe that would tempt the slave capturers out into the waters and then basically drown them. So we have a very, very rich history of swimming, and the Mahogany Mermaids' main purpose is going out and telling Black people, we swim. We have always swam. So don't think otherwise. Okay. And the magic to us is that we have a very strong village of coaches. Our coaches range from age 30 to age 81. And you think about it, if we have a coach who's 81 years old, that in itself should tell you, we've been swimming for a minute. I mean, not saying that 81 is old, it's, you know, like being 58, but she was on swim teams when she was younger. So we really do everything that Morgan said. You know, we found our niche. We find our swimmers. We get to know our swimmers. And I think that's one of the things that also makes Mahogany Mermaids so strong, is that we're not just a swim team. We're actually a family. And when people talk to me and they want to do chapters in other cities, it's hard for me to say yes, because they don't take into account that chemistry that we have. We can sit here and, you know, look at each other and be like, you shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't do that. And we say it out of love. We say it out of a sisterhood, well, now brotherhood too, because we got some guys coming on board. But we really do have a very strong sense of coaches, and you'll meet 3 of them out of the 9 that we have, to raise our very strong swimmers. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn over to Dawn Patton, who's going to discuss the Adult Learn to Swim, what we call the Odyssey program, levels 1 and level 2.
Hi, and thank you. So as Nadine stated, we actually have a tiered approach, and with that, we have coaches that have different expertise. So we have our level 1s where we teach them basic concepts, get them to the point where they can pass the American Red Cross standards. And then we move, once they are able to do that, we move them into level 2, which is being able to get across the pool, the 25 yards, but then we want to start building that confidence and that security. So really what we do is, as far as removing fear, as Morgan stated in his, the why. So we actually have an application, and with our application, we do get into finding out a little bit more about each swimmer. We like to find out how their comfort level is with getting water in their face, being in deep water. But then also we do a why as well. We ask them to bring to the class their why. What is their reason for wanting to learn how to swim? Because one of the things that we find is that whenever they have difficulty or have negative sabotaging thoughts, we always want to draw them back to that why. Why was it important for you to learn? What's going to make you get beyond whatever that fear level is, or wanting to be able to master a skill set? So that helps us very well. Plus, one of the things that I think is really important that we do in our level 1s and level 2 is, with us having a various range of coaches, they all kind of bring a different skill level to the class. So when we find participants or swimmers that are having a challenge, we do a lot of assessing throughout the actual session to be able to manage and figure out what is it that we can do for them and what coach could actually better serve that swimmer. So as you see on the screen, we had a participant, or we actually have her right now, who, when she started 4 weeks ago, she was afraid to even put her face in the water. So we had to spend one whole session just really getting her comfort level of being in the water, recognizing that she is buoyant enough that she can float, and just working with her. So on the next session, we were able to bring in some pool toys, which you see she's got the pool noodle as well as the aqua belt. But by the time she was able to get through that second session, she felt comfortable enough that she could float. And when the rest, or not, some of the class went down to the deep end just to get a sense of what that was like, she raised her hand and said, "I think I'm ready to go." So yes, granted, she did have some equipment with her, but that empowered her. And as you see, she has a smile on her face. At the beginning of that session, the week before, and even that session, you could see kind of even terror on her face. But by the time she started to get comfortable with having that one-on-one with a coach, she was able to master that. One of the things that I also say is, with that having a different, so we have 9 different coaches, we actually also know where our sweet spot is. So if we have a swimmer that's engaged with one coach, and maybe we're not getting the progress that we need, we can always kind of talk to each other, figure out what will work, and then figure out which coach maybe can help them. So this is another swimmer who initially, she was having trouble with her kick, and she had worked with probably about 2 of us, and her kick was kind of off and she wasn't getting things right. Well, then she matched up with Nadine. Nadine was able to find a common spot with her. And then I don't know, and this is how she ended up turning after a couple of minutes.
So what happened was we connected on boxing, and I just told her, and I have to I go to the next slide, but because we talked about kicking within a 5-gallon bucket, and she didn't know what I was talking about. And I just said, "Do you box?" She says yes. So I was on the deck and I said, "Okay, when you go into a boxing stance, it looks like this." and I showed her the boxing stance, and then I showed her a kick. I said, it doesn't look like that. And that's what clicked. So I want to show you, I'm gonna go to the next slide so you can see how it improved. That's not the next slide. Is that it? No, that's not it. Hold on. William, can you take me to the next slide?
Yeah, you'll have to stop sharing your screen and we'll switch, okay?
Okay. It's bedtime for me, folks, so. Okay.
Here we go. Oh, wait, it won't play this one, Nadine. I don't know. Can you
Oh,
tell us what the difference is between the two? I'm sorry.
that's okay. She tightened up her stroke. I mean, it was just a perfect stroke. There it is. Can y'all see it?
Yes.
So if you see, I mean, her stroke is tight. We talked about coming from the core, and everything that you would do as a boxer, she was able to translate into her kick. And it was just a perfect kick. And the grin on her face when she made it to the wall was, I mean, she was just, we were both about being in tears because I couldn't believe it. It was like one of those breakthroughs, and she couldn't believe it because she had tried for 3 weeks to get this kick. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and keep going because Celeste is up next. Or not. All right, William. I'm gonna come out of this. All right. So Celeste is gonna go ahead and talk about the pre-masters program. 58 years old, that's big. There we go. How did that happen? Magic.
Hello, everybody. So glad you guys could join us. So kind of continuing on from what Dawn was talking about with level 1 and level 2, with pre-masters, we want to try to build on that. And build on that, I'm talking about building them moving past their fear and their confidence in the water, because now they're not so much afraid of the water. And now they have a little bit more confidence because they move out of level 1, they moved out of level 2.
Uh-oh.
And we are moving into pre-masters, we're wanting to move them into doing more strokes or trying to expose them to more strokes. Because at this point, level 1, level 2, they know how to do the freestyle. They know how to do, they know how to do the freestyle, they know how to do the backstroke, and they should be able to tread water at least a minute. So we make sure they have that base before we start moving on and trying to expose them to other strokes. And kind of repeating what has already been said, the beauty about what I think is so unique to Mahogany Mermaids is the synergic coaching style. Well, literally, I could be standing on deck. That's me standing on deck. I think that was pre-COVID when we were teaching backstroke. And if in that group, because they're in that group, there's always going to be maybe 2 or 3 that are really ready to go with what's being taught. And then there's 2 that might be kind of there. And then there might be 1 that's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the beauty is there's a coach that's sitting on the sidelines watching all of this happening. And those people that need a little extra instruction or they need a little bit more fine tuning, those coaches come in and just jump in. And literally, this is like community coaching style where we're jumping in and adding that input and giving that help where it's needed. And it doesn't disrupt the class where we're teaching whatever particular skill or drill that we're teaching. So it's pretty awesome to see if you ever get a chance to see it. But essentially that's what it is. It's just building on what they've already learned in level 1 level 2. And for me personally, I feel like it's helping me become a better coach, because going back to something Morgan said earlier, in my mind, I can have what I think we should do on a lesson plan or for a particular set of a workout. But then when I see them and they get in the water and they have that terror on their face, it's like, okay, I need to back that up. Let's work on drills. Let's work on really knowing what your purpose is and why did you come to the pool? Because a lot of them like, I just want to swim. Okay, but why? And the thing is, showing them the respect for the water, because I tell them all the time, you get in the water, get in the fight with the water, I promise you, you're going to lose every time. So I reiterate the whole relaxing and being zen with the water and having a respect, but also coming with an accountability that I came here to swim. Yeah, you're going to get frustrated. You're supposed to get water on your face. You might even get some water in your mouth, but that's a part of the process, and really kind of making them more accountable and focus on, you've made it from level 1, you made it from level 2. Now we're going to start pushing you to become better swimmers, learning technique and learning skills and moving forward, because sometimes they also get caught up in looking at other swimmers. Us sometimes, if they hang around and watch us swim, are like, oh my gosh, no, apples and oranges. You just started swimming. Some of us been swimming a lot longer than you just started swimming 4 weeks ago. So trying to redirect them and letting them know they're in their space and they have made a lot of progress, but you can't also look at and compare yourself to what someone else is doing, because their experience is different. And then also the beauty of, again, going back to the coaching style, everyone brings their own experience, everyone brings their own gifts, and we mesh all of that together. It's like a big pot of gumbo, even though I don't eat gumbo, but it's a whole lot of good flavors going on in there. And people really benefit from the different styles in which we bring things together. And I think it's just beautiful and it's awesome how everyone is kind of like in their own space, but everyone is moving at their own pace. And I think we also have to move and adjust to that so that everyone gets what they need. But that's essentially what Pre-Masters is. It's a learning experience for me to tailor what we're doing from the deck to meet the needs of the people in the pool and push them in that direction.
Great.
Without drowning them. Okay.
Yeah.
No drowning allowed.
And
Lillian, do you
speaking
have
of
some
drowning,
questions from the audience that you want to address?
I think we've got a little bit more from Nadine and then we'll do it. Nadine, you got about 4 minutes to do this bit,
we
okay?
can do this. So once you get to masters, as you see, my my tag kind of says it all. I'm gonna drown you. So when you get to the masters, that's what we're doing with our multi-sports athlete. We have the athletes, we have the former collegiates or the competitive swimmers. We have the seasoned adult learner swimmers, adult learner swim graduates, and they have enough knowledge of styles that it's really more of a open practice with learning. We give enough overhead, but we allow people to find their own skill, their own style, because swimming has a standard and then it has its own personality that a person brings to it. So we do a lot of peer-to-peer coaching. We will play, like the other day, we were playing polo in the water with tennis balls. We played with synchronized swimming. It is really just that, finding that edge, finding where you want to be in the water. Maybe not everybody's a freestyle or a breaststroke, or maybe you just want to drown people. So that's what we do. And one thing that we're doing is we don't stop at the pool. I'm gonna run through this really quickly. Like I said, we have a lot of triathletes. Our next step, we do open water. But again, even open water has a certain niche. We have a lot of people who want to do open water, and we're going to partner. We're partnering with Miller Swimming and we formed a group called Evolutionary Aquatics. And we're taking this program and we're starting, launching it April 3rd, an Adult Learn to Swim open water session. We're going to rope off part of the lake. We'll start in the pool for a few weeks, get people used to just being in the openness. Then we're going to take them out to the lake. They'll swim for a few sessions in a playpen, basically, with kayak support. And then once they graduate from there, they'll get a buddy that will actually take them into the water. And this will be the next step, because as you know, it's really rare to see Black people in triathlons because of the swimming. So this is our next step. And I think that's it. Oh, except for a real quick video that y'all have to stay around and watch. So go get your popcorn real quick. That's me. Mahogany Mermaids is the premier women's swim club. Now that whip part is quick. Boom. We are composed of Black women who like swimming. And one thing about it, a lot of people tend to think of it as being a segregation, but US Masters is about inclusion and diversity. And this is how we include ourselves. We create a space for us, by us, because a lot of times, if you look at most swim clubs, you may see one or two of us. Get long. Now kick your butt, keep your body long. We talk about our history when it comes to swim. You know, we know who created the freestyle. Roll and reach. We focus on the pre-Jim Crow culture of swimming, not the post-Jim Crow where people are telling me I can't swim. Well, obviously I can. It is literally in our DNA to swim.
It's about being an African American who does hard things and things that people don't traditionally think that African Americans know how to do or want to do. There are a lot of African Americans who want to learn how to swim, who want to conquer that fear. And being a Mahogany Mermaid is about being part of a group that is doing just that for our community.
When I sweep that water, that's gonna what? Push this arm out, rotate.
When a good friend, her cousin came down to visit, actually drowned. I got my kids involved in that, and then I had a close family member that also had a near-death incident, which then inspired me to want to teach. And so I connected with Nadine, and we've been able to not only build a camaraderie of Mahogany Mermaids, but get African-American women to reclaim their heritage and get back in the pool.
What do you love about this?
Honestly, I get to tell folks what to do, and they listen to me, and they don't drown. He had on a resistance band.
All right. That was fantastic. I'm glad we got that little bit at the end there. We do have some questions to fly through. Ladies, thank you so much. That was just wonderful. First things first, we had two questions about in-person teaching. What does this look like? How are you doing it? Give us the greatest hits, okay?
Okay, so when we do, first of all, once you come into the pool, you have your temperature pulled, you have to sign a COVID statement saying that you hadn't been exposed. Then from there, we do our social distancing. If we're in the water, we'll social distance. We don't wear the mask because it's kind of dangerous. Get mask, it won't be good. If we're on deck, we have the mask as we teach. So, I mean, as soon as our pool's open in August, I think, we jump right back in it. We know each other. We keep a tight circle. So we don't allow any visitors into the pool area. So we're more or less safe. Plus we have nurses that are COVID trained that won't let us do anything. One of them's on the line, Tiffany. If it doesn't look right, she will shut us down. So.
Okay, thank you. We have someone who wants to know if you could post the questions in the chat, or maybe we can provide them after the fact. What is it that you would like to know from your potential students? If you want to say one or two things now, what are the things that you want to know when someone wants to be a mermaid?
I'm gonna let Dawn answer that because she's the registrar.
So the application, we like to see like the skill set level, if they can jump in the water, if they can tread water, can they swim the 25 yards? We always ask questions of what their level is coming into it, and also what they would like to achieve. And again, are you comfortable putting your face in the water? Are you comfortable with water over your head? That lets us know where to kind of place you, even when you come in. Those people that tell that, you know, have a story, and we give an opportunity for them to give some description. If you tell me that you're extremely fearful, those are the potential people that we're going to put on the outer lane so that they have the wall to, you know, to be able to hold on to if they have any type of hesitancy. Those that have already taken some type of lesson or just want to kind of enhance, those are the people that we kind of put in the middle. But we kind of give a little bit of background, or we ask a little bit from potential applicants so that we know where they're coming from, and we try to meet them where they're at.
Okay. Let's take this one next. How long are lessons, and what do they cost?
Our
Let's start with
classes,
Adult Learn to Swim lessons, level 1.
they're about an hour, and right now we charge for 8 weeks. It's $100. They have to join US Master, so it's $160. But they have the option to come whenever we can get the pool. They can come to the open practice for free. So right now we have it Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Starting tomorrow, we'll have it from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. So if they can get a lane, they can come in and swim free open practice. Is minimum coaching. And then also Monday we'll have an evening night session. So all that's included in their $100 tuition.
Okay, good. And so for Mimi and folks that are wondering about your masters and pre-masters, we'll put that on there after the fact so you can see the whole menu. This is a wonderful question from Martha. How do you address Black women who don't want to swim because of their hair?
Okay, we don't have time for me to go into that whole situation, but I suggest they do some homework and they find out that it's not their hair. That's something that we've been told. That's a situation where the victims have been being blamed. We're being told, oh, you can't swim about your hair. You never hear anybody talk about they can't swim because the skin gets ashy, because we know how to handle our skin. Same thing with the hair. If you know, right now I'm sporting plaits. If you know how to handle your hair, if we had the access to the pools the whole time, we wouldn't think about it, because handling our hair would be automatic. Like, we don't think about putting on lotion because that's something that we always do. So if somebody comes to me with a hair story, that's the first thing I tell them is, how did you handle your hair before the swim? Same way you're going to handle it then. You know, you have to make some adjustments, but that's their story. There's more to it than, well, I don't want to swim because of my hair. If you keep asking, you'll find out that there's more to it than just that. Okay, I'm coming up a soapbox.
That's awesome. And Nadine, in my experience with my program, it's the same thing. The hair is really not always the only thing that's going on there. So that's a fantastic question. I'm glad someone asked that. Is there any hope of getting Nadine to come down to Atlanta to teach?
So my sister's on this call. She probably was the one that wrote that. Once COVID is over, there's a possibility that my agent will allow me to travel across the country. Yes. No, well, as long as I don't have to fly. I do not do airplanes. So, but yeah, I'll have to come down to Atlanta.
Thank you. And I've got one question for each of you from the mermaids, and it looks like maybe this will be the last one.
You have a hand raised too, William.
Oh, I cannot see who that is, Bill.
Okay, well, I wonder, Kim, do you still have a question you want to ask? I'm gonna allow you to talk because you've had your hand up for quite some time.
Sorry. Yeah, that was about the previous set of questions. I just forgot to lower it.
Oh, no problem. You want to ask Morgan a question?
No. Well, Morgan answered it. He answered it. So yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Kim. Just didn't want to.
Sorry.
You know, we've been corresponding, so I didn't want to be on your bad side there. So.
No. It's all good.
All right.
Morgan
Kim.
has a real. My question for Morgan is, who is your co-star? You don't see her. She's right behind you.
Unmute, Morgan.
Oh, I see her. That's Mariah. Say hi.
Hi, Mariah.
Hi, Mariah.
All right. So last question of the evening. I just like each of our presenters tonight, including Morgan. I'll let the ladies go first. If there is one word that comes to mind immediately that describes you as an individual, as a coach, as an instructor, as a member of your own team, as a leader, as a member of your community, what is that one word that describes you?
You know, the universe.
That's a couple more than one.
Well, 58, I lose count.
I guess if you're the queen of the universe, you can change the rules whenever you want.
It's an acronym, William. QOTU.
All right, next.
Mine is passionate.
I would say mine is intentional.
Influencer.
That's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Lattimore and the Mahogany Mermaids, this has been awesome. I'm going to let Bill Brenner take us out of this call. We will post contact information and follow-up details. Thank you so much for being here. This is our best attended call for the Adult Learn to Swim committee. We're thrilled that you came this evening, and thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Mermaids, I'll see you in Charlotte soon. Morgan, I don't know when, but sometime soon, hopefully. And William, you up in Louisville.
You
When
just
you
tell
have
me
better
when
weather.
to come the way. I'll
Yeah.
be there.
Better weather. But thank you, everyone, for participating and joining and for the questions. We always like to know what's on your mind. We will post this recording of this webinar on our website. It will be under the Adult Central section of the website, the Adult Learn to Swim Central section. So you can find it there. Please share it with those people that you think would have gained some knowledge from what was presented tonight. The more that find out about these things, I think the stronger our organization becomes. Please, everybody, stay safe. Look forward to our next ALTS peer-to-peer, which is the third Thursday of the month, or the last Thursday of the month. We'll send out something that I'll tell you. It's going to be on a Thursday, so just don't book anything for Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. And we'll be back with you, same station right here with USMS and the Adult Learn to Swim. So have a great evening, everyone, and thank you so much again.
Good night.
Do we leave too?
Only when I say so.
Okay.
Okay, you can leave now. Go take care of that good-looking girl there.
Yeah.
All right. It was fun,
Nadine, I'm coming
everybody.
up to see Nadine. I'll be up there probably the first week of April.
All right, come
I want to
on.
be a guest on the. I want to be able to come by though. No guests on the deck.
Oh, we're getting pool time like crazy now. Plus, we're going to move into the open water. So
That's great. I'll
right.
do it. All right,
Alrighty,
William.
see
Thank you so much.
thank
You're
y'all.
welcome. I loved
All right,
it.
guys.
You guys
Bye.
really do run the world. This is the best.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you Albert, with the tech help, because I was just like, what the hell? Oh, excuse me, little girl.
She can't hear you. I got the headphones on.
Oh, okay.
Morgan, you did have one last
Out
minute
there in cyber
question.
world.
What
I
does
see
she
you.
know
Good
how
night,
to swim?
Estelle. Good night, Susan.
What'd say, William?
Does your co-star, is she a star swimmer?
You like swimming?
Oh,
Huh?
I'm a little scared.
She's a little scared,
a little scared.
but
That's
she
okay.
likes to get in the water. She likes the water.
That's
And that
good.
was my sister that asked about coming to Atlanta. That was my sister. So I was like,
She
All right,
missed-
guys. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good
All
night.
right.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to end the
I'll
meeting.
take-
I didn't want to cut y'all off.
It's okay.
It's all good. All right. Good night, y'all. Thank you,
Okay,
Bill.
good night.